Alright guys, so yesterday I removed my KA24E and I kind of included and excluded certain parts, not on purpose, but just because some days I would record and some days I wouldn't. But anyway, if you're going to do this, what you need to do first is drain all your fluids, and then starting with the rear end. I start with the rear end. You can start anywhere you want, but this is the way I did it. I unbolted the differential from the drive shaft, and that was 4 bolts, and then I unbolted the journal bearing, which is the bearing in between the drive shaft, and then once you do that, you kind of like just wiggle the drive shaft out of your transmission, and then you take a jack and you jack it up near the under the transmission, and you not slowly, but you undo the bolts holding the transmission in. There will be a like a cross member for that transmission. Then you unbolt that. You slowly let the jack down, and then the transmission will, it'll dip down, but it's all right. So then you move on. You go under the cross member here, and underneath this position, it's right above the steering rack. If you're working this way, there will be a engine mount bolt. On this side, I did it that way. I got it from underneath. But then on this side, since this side was exposed, I just took a wrench and I undid it over here from the top. But yeah. And then before you remove your engine, you want to make sure all your plugs are disconnected. There are a few over here underneath the intake manifold. And then if you move along here, there will be a bunch of hoses to undo, some miscellaneous plugs, and then there will be a bunch of plugs along the firewall here behind the engine. Those are kind of hard to get to, and especially with all the plugs, they have like this little metal clip on them so they don't come unclipped. But if you use like a small flathead screwdriver, it allows you to take them off pretty easy. Alright, so then moving over here, there are just a few random plugs to get to. You undo your coil distributor, and yeah, I just I took off some hoses as well. These are pressurized, so yeah, be aware of that when you take them off, because holy crap, this thing was hissing like crazy. Like, it was insane. I kind of just stepped back and waited for it to be over, but yeah, that's that. And then finally you can remove your KA, but first, prior to removing the KA, I don't know why I said you can remove your KA, but I took off my front bumper and the what's it called, the bumper support, just because my jack, it's kind of hard to get it all the way in, especially because once you start lifting the engine, it pulls the jack forward into the bumper, and rather than destroying my front bumper, I just took it off. That was kind of hard. Underneath here, you have to jack off, not jack off, what the hell? You have to jack up the car, obviously, take off the wheels, and then you have to take off this dust shield here, and in there, inside here, there will be 5 bolts, like right along this ridge right here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then these are just like clips down here. But then another hard one to get to. Oh man, I should get the light. Hold on, sorry guys. Alright, so I'm just going to do that over. So to remove the front bumper, you need to take off the front tires, take off front wheels, and then remove the dust shield here. And then inside there will be 5 bolts that are kind of a pain to get to, right along here. Oh, that's nasty, I didn't do that. Anyway, 5 bolts to get to. And then there will be a couple, like right under here. And that is extremely annoying to get to. And that's the same on the other side as well. But then, under here, if you have a pig nose, there's like a support here, and you need to undo these 4 bolts. And I didn't know that at first, and I was just trying to tug the bumper off, and that kind of screwed it up a little bit, but oh well, I figured it out. Also, when you remove the front bumper, you want to unplug these harnesses here, or unplug these plugs. There's a couple. Yeah. There's also some over here. Oh my gosh, can't hold the camera. But anyway. So yeah, and then you just pull it off. I also removed the lip as well. Like, I removed the lip before I removed the bumper, just to kind of make things a little bit easier to get under there. So there will be 2 bolts on this side and 2 bolts on this side. Unfortunately, this one did break for me. I hardly got this one out. This one broke, and this one came out all right. But so yeah, just be mindful of that. These bolts are on there pretty good, and if you don't use the PB blaster on them, then you could easily break them. But yeah, and also to remove the bumper support, there are just two right here, 2 bolts. You take this one out, this one comes out entirely, and then you don't even need to really undo this one all the way, because as soon as you take this one out like that, then you can slide it out, because it's not enclosed on this side. The bumper support doesn't enclose this bolt. It's just kind of like a U, like a bike fork or something. So then you just slide it out, and that's the same on the other side. Oh, no, I can't get that bolt to go back in. All right, there we go. And yeah, it's always a good idea just to thread the bolts back in where they came from so you don't lose anything. I also have a little bucket of bolts that I just put together.